Yo, what's up? This is your boy Joey Ferrara with JSF Fitness Inc. We're on our way to Slicksluggers Boxing to film our first episode of Coach Joey's Gym Tours. We're approaching Slickslugger Boxing, 460 Jericho Turnpike, Mineola, New York. This is the first episode of Joey's Gym Tours. Let's go meet Nick. Yo, Nick, what up, brother? Yeah, man, how's everything?
Everything's awesome.
Yo, I appreciate you coming in and spending the afternoon with us and letting us tour your gym, man. I'm really excited about this, brother. Thank you.
Amen.
So, Nick, I see this small ring right here. You gotta tell me, bro, what is the application of a ring like this?
It's my signature style. It's Mexican style, close quarters. You always see people putting their foot inside the tire, but when you're inside the tire, you don't have that support system of the ropes and the corner, and you don't know what it's like to be able to be in a tight space like that other than having your foot in the circle. Let's take a step inside, check it out.
I love it.
You gotta learn how to fight when you're in here. There's nowhere to go. There's no footwork,
facts.
there's no circling, you're just holding your ground. So you're starting the round in range, you're always gonna be in range, and when you're holding your ground, if we square off, we're here, I have my back on the ropes, I have my legs, you can get your shots off back and forth, but there's really nowhere to go. Just gotta hold your ground and fight it out.
That's it. Stay on the inside, fight, work that inside game.
Yep.
I love it. So, Nick, when did you start boxing?
So I started boxing when I was 15 years old. I was playing hockey from like 5 to the age of 15, and I got thrown out of hockey for boxing on the ice, and I figured I'd start doing that as a sport, and I switched over.
I love that. Oh, that's great. Tell me, what gym did you start training at when you first started competing?
So I was at Panza Boxing in Glen Cove when I was 15 years old. I had my first competitive fight when I was 17, and we took it from there.
What made you want to become a boxing coach?
I wanted to become a professional fighter, and then things happened along the way. Broke my nose a bunch of times, had some hand injuries, some elbow injuries, so things didn't really go the way that I foresee them to go. But I said, you know, I still want to be involved in boxing. And I watched this really interesting interview with Joe Rogan and Gary Vee, and Gary Vee was telling people, hey, like if you love what you do and you're good enough to be able to make a living off of that, put all your eggs in one basket, be tunnel vision, focus on that. And I said, you know what, I love boxing, I love helping people, I love teaching boxing. I used to teach my friends just for fun, just to be like, hey, put your hands up, let me teach you something I just learned today. And then I said, you know what, I can see this being a career for myself, that I'm able to give people skills that took me a long way to learn. And unfortunately, I had to learn it the hard way, but off of me learning it the hard way, it makes me a better coach to be able to give people skills and be able to figure it out for them, so that way when they get these skills, they don't have to pay the same price that I did.
I love it that you get to make a living doing what you're passionate about, and I love that people actually get to learn from somebody who has passion in what they do.
So right now we're on our open group class floor, right? So students, when they're warming up, they'll grab a jump rope, they'll skip up on some rope. If they're doing some shadow boxing, they can grab the hand weights. It's a good way to get some resistance, build up some speed and some power. If you come down to the gym, if you forgot your gloves or if you don't have gloves, we have loaner gloves to be able to use for the day. At the end, everyone sprays them down, Lysols them. And as far as the open class floor, right, people will do mitt work here. We'll do some advanced level drills so students can like work on their offense and their defense together, and just use this for just general open space. And you have the mirrors to be able to see exactly what you're working on, right? Over here is a heavy bag section, right? 11 different heavy bags, water bags, heavier bags, thicker bags, all different sizes and things like that. And this is our setup for the heavy bag section. Got some button bags on the wall over there, and 16-foot boxing ring. So a 16-foot boxing ring. It's really cool because it's a little bit smaller, there's a little bit less space for footwork, so you can get even better workout.
Absolutely. Nick, I gotta ask you, brother, what's your favorite heavy bag out of all of them?
It's gotta be this one. This one's 400-pound bag. It's perfectly sits on the floor, so that way when you're hitting it, there's nowhere for it to move around. There's no give on it.
This one's a monster.
It's a monster. It's 400 pounds. It's solid, and it's gonna absorb all the power you want to rip into it. So definitely a great way to blast it.
It seems pretty durable too, bro. That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I gotta know the story behind the logo. Tell me the origin story.
That's me. That's how I envision myself. That's how I see myself. And it's got a lot of symbolism to it. You know, the name Slickslugger, you can fight a very slick and very fancy style. You can fight a very brute force, come forward, do damage and destroy style. So they're complete opposites of each other, being a slick slugger. And I find myself being able to have both those abilities when I'm in there boxing. But it's also a lot of symbolism, like you see the yin yang, right? You see like the black with the white and the white with the black. This is my version of the yin yang, which is on this side, this is the nice side of the face. The left side is the nice side of the face. That's the way I'm on a daily basis. I'm a gentleman, I'm humble, I'm respectful, I'm cool, I'm mild-mannered. but there's a complete other side, just how it is with you, right? How all fighters are. Most of us are gentlemen, but if I have to be, I go to that side, and that's the side where I'm in the ring. That's the side where if things go down, I'm prepared to handle situations. But it's like the werewolf effect, but most of the time I'm here, but I also have this too, so it's a little bit of 50-50. I try to keep it more this side than this side, but the name with the logo and the symbolism, I just thought it was perfect.
What year did you actually start Slick Slugger Boxing?
So I started in 2012. I just started because I just finished up with competing. I had some surgeries. I recovered from that. I said, I'm going to start coaching. So 2012, I started training people on my own. And once I started training people on my own, I did everything I had to do to find the clients and build myself up. And I worked hard to save my money, built it all up. And then January of 2020 is when I opened up this gym. Just so happened to be 2 months right before COVID.
It's a tough time.
Terrible time. Terrible time for any business owner, for any gym owner specifically, because like the industry and like people watching the news, people didn't want to be around a lot of people working out and sweating. So it was the biggest challenge I ever had to overcome in my life, but I knew it was going to be worth it when I made it to the store.
And what were some of the things that you had to overcome during that time?
Oh man, I mean, I spent literally my entire life savings to open up this place, and then 2.5 months into it, I got the ball rolling. We're starting to do really well, and once we got locked down, I wasn't able to use the gym for close to 5.5 months.
I can't imagine what that would have been like.
I mean, it's hard enough to even run a business, period. So to not be able to bring any kind of revenue in to be able to at least pay for the bills, it was a nightmare. And I almost lost my dream even before I had it. But thankfully, when everything reinstated, I still had I almost had to start from scratch again. I mean, a lot of the people didn't come back right away because of COVID, the news, blah, blah, blah. So we just had to grind even harder, and I started revamping my business model and picking up my marketing and my word of mouth, and thankfully we made it.
Well, I love the fact that you guys bit down on that mouthpiece, continued to persevere through the adversity, and now you're flourishing. That's a beautiful thing.
And that's boxing, that's life.
That's right. Tell me, what's the best part about being a boxing coach?
There's so many great things I have to say, but the number one thing for me is to see the kind of impact we make on people's lives, on how we're able to change their life, whether it be self-defense, fitness, confidence. For me to be that kind of positive influence in someone's life is amazing. We're going to throw the gloves on and train, right?
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, now this is part of the tour where we're going to do rapid fire questions. I got 5 questions for you, rapid fire.
Let's do it.
Who's your favorite competitive boxing coach?
Has to be Teddy Atlas. He's a maniac. He's very passionate. He gives very strict instructions, and he brings the best out of his fighters in the corner.
Who's your favorite fighter right now?
Right now has to be Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford. Very, very talented fighter, very versatile.
What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Love pizza. Can't even eat pizza, but I love it.
Who's your favorite fighter of all time?
It has to be Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was ferocious. He was a competitor, and he was a destroyer. He came in there, he wasn't playing any games, and it was very exciting.
What was your favorite fight of all time?
Gotti Ward.
Favorite round?
9.
Let's go.
So, Joe, you had a lot of questions for me today. I had a lot of fun with this, but what do you look for when you go to a boxing gym?
Well, the first thing I look for is obviously knowledge. I want somebody that knows the sport, somebody that is good at articulating the concepts. From there, I'm looking for something that's inviting, a place that doesn't make people feel foolish for just stepping through the door, right?
Exactly.
Somebody that doesn't want to make sure you're intimidated, but they want to make sure that you're comfortable walking in. And then what it comes down to is a really good environment to train under. So a clean gym, multiple tools, heavy bags, speed bags, rings. Again, even with that Mexican ring, brother, your gym checks all the boxes. Guys, check it out. This was the first episode of Joey's Gym Tours. We were here with Coach Nick, Slick Slugger Boxing. Make sure you shoot him a follow. Go ahead and tell all the viewers what your pages are.
Slick Sluggers Boxing on Instagram, Slick Sluggers Boxing on YouTube. If you have any questions for me, you can always hit me up. If you want to come down and check us out, we'll be happy to set you up. Thank you.